Here we go, guys. Redchamp here. Lo and behold, across a full season, we have finally made it to the two-way forward and the two-way defenseman build. Now, this has taken a while. It's hard to find a balance between what's actually effective and what's just average across the board and not worth using. So, in this video, I've actually got quite a few two-way forward variations here. Some are pretty solid in my opinion. A lot of them are very well suited to sixes. Any one of these builds can be a center. And the first thing you're going to want to do is drop your deking back to the default value for the two-way forward, which will be 80. From there, you're going to take those remaining points and you're going to dump those all into face-offs, and you'll reach a cap of 90. If you're on center, you want to be running 90 face-offs. If you don't run 90 face-offs, you're hurting your own team here. Because if you guys end up doing the same matchup, they're going to win it. And you want to make sure that you have as much a chance as possible on those 50-50s. But without ado, let's get right into the video. So we're going to start off with the two-way forward, 5'10", 190. You can see the perks here. It's going to be stick 'em up, 1T, elite edges. You're going to use offensive timing and disciplined IQ as your boosts. Offensive timing can be shifted, but it's nice to be able to knock down pucks out of the air and receive passes cleanly. You could easily swap that to deking if you wanted to be more of a dangling type build with 89 deking on this. You could even put that into power skating, so you could have 89 speed. You can even run it at 90 if you wanted to, which is the max for the two-way forward. What you're going to see here is we keep the slap shot power high. We run 1T because that's the easiest way to score in this game. And if you look at our speed and agility, we keep those fairly high so that we're able to turn and just catch up to everyone. If a 90 speed skater is skating with the puck, you're going to be able to catch them. Okay, so the next thing here is your play style. Look at how high the two-way forward can have the play style. This one in particular is more fine-tuned to my play style. You got 90 defensive awareness, 90 stick checking stacked with gold stick 'em up. It's going to be ridiculous. You got 90 offensive awareness and 88 hand-eye. You're going to be able to pick off passes and just skate through cleanly and react super quick when you knock off the puck. For the people who don't believe in acceleration, just dump that down to 82 or 84, whatever you're comfortable with, and stack your endurance or your wrist shot power. Both those are really effective, and I've actually been running a dangler with really high endurance, and it's kind of amazing how much you can just skate around everyone when everyone's bag skating. So that's the first build there. You get what you see with it. It's going to be pretty effective at hammering home pucks. It's fast. It's able to get in there, disrupt the play with the stick checking. The defensive awareness is super high. If you're in position, you're picking off that pass. Its strength is good not to get bumped around the puck as much. Its hand-eye solid to just be great. And honestly, offensive timing can be swapped for anything. It's a free perk in my opinion, and I think it works really well. Okay, so following that first build here, the next one you see that the playstyle is a little bit lower across the board, and so is the acceleration. What you're going to get with that is a much higher passing. You're going to see that we get it up to 88 there, and that's going to be really good for, I think, a lot of entry-level players, because it's going to let you cover all areas relatively effective while not feeling like you're useless out there and just can't do anything. So on to our next variation here. You are going to see that it is a hitter. So you got truculence, stick 'em up, gold 1T. You got 82 body checking. The passing, stick checking, and defensive awareness is a little bit lower on this build. The hand-eye as well is at 85 instead of 88. The strength is 79, so if you want, you could swap out one of these boosts and have 90 speed. This one is tuned to the face-offs here. As you can see, what I talked about with the default value before, you now have 80 deking and 90 face-offs. Okay, so this one's agility is a little bit lower, but what it does do is give you a little bit more accuracy in the wrist shot and the slap shot. But you're going to find with this build that you're able to go into the corners, come out with the puck, and you're going to be surprisingly able to body a lot of people. And when it comes down to it, the top best perks in the game, in my opinion, are elite edges, truculence, close quarters, and one-timer. These abilities can single-handedly make builds. You can slap those on anything and you'll be somewhat effective out there. Now, what happens if you build on the two-way forward's defensive aspects of the class? So this is no contest, elite edges, and close quarters, right? You got some pretty balance across the boards. You got really good shooting with 84 and 82 stop shot power, 80-80 accuracy, and a superb stick checking ability at 93 with 92 defensive awareness. That is totally swappable. We do have the 80 strength, which meets the 79 strength requirement for power skating. So if you wanted 90 speed on this build, totally viable, totally up to you. That would still only leave you with 88 to 89 stick checking / defensive awareness if you decide to swap those two. As seen in the previous builds, you can lower your stick checking and defensive awareness a little bit and even that out, and you'll be sitting pretty high across the board with your stats. I do think this one is super effective just because it does access elite edges, close quarters, and no contest will really help you win those puck battles. Especially with that stick checking, when you can go in there, give them a little stick tap, leave it, and on your way. Now, I want to talk about the next class. This one is the two-way defenseman. I built it at 6'2", 190, gold stick 'em up, elite edges, and silver truculence. It honestly has a really good feel to the build, and I think that was my favorite part, being that it's not 6'2", 210, locked into being big and fat. It doesn't feel clunky when you play it. Like, it feels like a smooth skating build, and the shot is pretty good. It's able to shoot far side really effectively, despite what the stats say. The gold stick 'em up really helps with the two-way forward, as you can get pretty high stick checking with it. You can also run gold shutdown, as you'll see in one of the clips here. And what that'll do is let you have increased stick checking against momentum, hitting against one-on-one battles, and it's just an overall gain to your stats when it's a one-on-one. Which, if you happen to be playing threes, you're going to be able to get a lot of those, especially when your forwards leave you hanging. So that little bonus can really help out. But I do think that stick 'em up is a more consistent option. This is just a way to increase the hitting power on the two-way defenseman.
You're in a vulnerable spot after being hit first.
Remember that any perk and any boost can be swapped around to treat the build in your own play style. These are what is most effective for me and what I think will be accessible to the general public for when they play, right? When I'm making my builds, I'm always keeping everyone else in mind, because while I play a certain play style, I want the build to be able to be effective at other things and not just a one-trick pony. So what I mean with that is, if you think truculence isn't for you, swap on a shooting perk. Help yourself out. If your team needs more defense, use another defensive trait. If you feel like you can't do anything, you're missing passes, slap on tape to tape. Help yourself out. Alright guys, that wraps up the video. If you guys ever need anything, feel free to hit me up on Discord. I'm going to be including that on this link. And remember to drop a like.